Hello everybody, good day everyone. I am Jerry Pagay Armisen together with my partner, Miss Flora Mae K. Buot. Together we will be reporting a subtopic of Proof Ed, which is the teaching profession. So the question is, are you ready to take the licensure examination for teachers? Well, ready or not, you gotta be prepared. Bring weapons in the battle. Now let's take a step of learning and reviewing the what is teaching. In the ever-evolving landscape of education, teaching has transcended beyond being merely an occupation, profession, or work, and it has become a vocation, a mission, and a dedicated pursuit of service. Teaching can be described in any educational perspective, and it's up to us. It's up to us, the individual, of how we identify our own teaching. The role of a teacher extends far beyond the dissemination of information. It embodies profound calling to nurture and guide learners, transforming them into well-rounded individuals. It's the teacher that surely shaped the being of student into a grown human being possessing the academic standard. And as a vocation, teaching implies a deep-seated dedication, a calling that beckons educators to contribute meaningfully to the development of the human mind and spirit. Being dedicated is teaching wholeheartedly, giving a good piece of art in learning to the individual. It transcends the transactional nature of a profession, elevating it to a transformative mission aimed at shaping students not only academically, but also as compassionate and thoughtful members of society. In society, where teachers serve education to the members by teaching, a teacher strive hard for acting as the model transformative being that transform the lives of young kids into successful and great contributors of the society. But in society, a problem arises without a warning, so teachers will always try to embrace the challenges of the 21st century, in which teachers find themselves navigating complex terrain that demands a myriad of roles to address the multifaceted issues in education, the lives of teachers and students, the dynamics within schools, and the broader societal context. In simple manner, teacher does not only teaches what are in books, but they let out those written words to take it into action by the learners in real world to resolve the issues emerge in the society.
The challenges faced by educators in the 21st century are diverse and dynamic, ranging from the pervasive issue of spoon-feeding education to the intricacies of technology integration and cultural diversity. To meet these challenges, teachers must embody various roles, transforming into facilitators of learning, digitally literate individuals, culturally sensitive guides, and life skills hacker. The modern teacher is not only an assessor and organizer, but also a mentor, counselor, critical thinking cultivator, and global educator. The 21st century educator must advocate for lifelong learning, initiate differentiated instruction, act as a prompter, resource provider, and participant, all while being an ethicist, innovator, activator, tutor, and researcher. In this complex web of roles, teachers emerge as indispensable architects of future, navigating the ever-changing landscape of education with resilience, adaptability, and unwavering commitment to excellence. So now, we have the learning objective that states that explain what teaching is and various roles of a teacher in meeting challenges in the 21st century. So let's proceed to the significant discussion about the topic. What is teaching? So teaching, the occupation, profession, or a work of a teacher that teaches learners information. Teaching is a multifaceted and dynamic process that involves the imparting of knowledge, skills, values, and attitudes from educators to learners. It goes beyond the mere transmission of information and encompasses a range of activities aimed at facilitating learning, foster understanding, and promoting personal and intellectual development. Teaching occurs in various settings, including classrooms, online platforms, workshops, and informal educational environments.
All right, Flora is correct. When we look at the literal definition of teaching, it is basically the occupation or a work of a teacher, right? And what a teacher does. Okay, they teach, of course. They disseminate information to the learners. But how about we probe deeper about this matter term teaching? Teaching. Teaching can be defined in three ways. One as a vocation, two as a mission, and three as a profession. Let's start with teaching as vocation. Wait, did you hear that? Right, it's a phone call ringtone. It looks like someone is calling. Okay, just like in teaching, a person who wants to become a businessman ended up being a teacher because in the early years, that person kept hearing a soft whisper in mind to become a teacher. So as a dedicated person without a second thought, that person is now teaching with a dedication for a service. Next is teaching as a mission. Have you ever experienced getting excited for completing a task? Well, surely you are in a mission. Am I correct? I am certain. When you teach because you want to help the young learners to become the person they need to be in the future, you are teaching with a mission. Just like Jesus coming here in the earth with a mission, you are trying to save the lives of the people to awaken from the downfall of human being, that we should not stay as a student alone, but a human that expose the purpose of being, possessing a lot of knowledge and wisdom. Very good. And the last is teaching as a profession. Professional teachers do not settle for less, but rather they strive for excellence. You may be wondering why the picture I display is the teacher's uniform as of this academic period. Okay, let me tell you this. It is because when we see a teacher's uniform, we immediately think that they are teachers, that they teach, and they are working hard to become not just an effective teacher, but also an excellent teacher that is hunger of knowledge, thirsty of development, and craving more professionalism. Now, you may be asking yourself where you belong among the three and how you define your teaching. You will get confused for sure, and if you doubt your decision making. Anyway, no matter what teaching way you are in, as long as you are not teaching for a salary, you are in the right path. But among the three ways and even the salary reason, a teacher will certainly encounter a problem and issues every day in classes, especially now in the 21st century. Okay, so especially that in this 21st century, this 21st teaching is not as it seems as it was before. There are many challenges to mention, and out of my research, together with my partner Flora Mae K, we gathered 20 of them. However, with those challenges, we can still manage to defeat problem by knowing our various roles in meeting those challenges. Here are the following changes that a teacher may encounter in the 21st century. Let's start with the first challenge. Okay, what do you observe in the first picture? Right, the key term here is spoon feeding. Very good. And it is a problem in 21st century that teachers mostly spoon feed the students with their lessons in a way that everything is provided by the teacher. So meeting that challenge, you should possess the role of being a facilitator of learning, wherein you give the students a chance or opportunity to accomplish their task and works by their own way. And we should give chance and opportunities to students to explore and discover things by their own journey, but of course with our guidance and assistance as we facilitate their progress and monitor if they are on the right path. Do you agree? Of course you are. Next picture, what do you observe? Yes, a problematic person. What objects do you notice? Okay, there are books, coffee, and laptop. But what's the problem in this picture? I will tell you. This person is having trouble operating the laptop because she is not technologically integrated or doesn't have much knowledge about technology. As we all know that technologies play a vital role in our lives, even in educational aspect, especially nowadays. It is a problem to the teachers who are not into technology, as they are not techie. So to those persons who are technologically literate, they are called techie. Okay, so in this kind of problem, you as a teacher should possess a role of being digitally literate, meaning you know how to use laptops, phones, TV, projector, and other digitals that can be used in teaching. Kids nowadays are more integrated in technology, so you act as one that you can relate to them. Am I right? Yes, am I? Of course. Next, what do you observe in this picture? Correct. You could say different skin, races, and nationality. It's a problem in 21st century that children with diverse cultural background merge in one classes, in which it arises conflict regarding with the different cultures, traditions, norms, and way of living. In that challenge, you as a teacher should possess the role of being cultural sensitive, that you are aware of their respective cultural background and willingly accept and recognize their individual culture and identities. You should be cultural sensitive, not ethnocentric, that think of your culture as superior, not also xenocentric, that think of your own culture as inferior, but rather integrates cultural relativism, that the basis for understanding the person's beliefs and values should be in their respective culture. I like this one. Will you do that? Oh, you should be, because we are different from each other. That indicates our uniqueness of individuality. Alright. Okay, next. How about this picture? What do you observe? Okay, sort of depression, stress, or anxiety. Now, it is very common or a challenge that we encounter these days, right? Yes, that we usually overthink small things, looking too beyond the box. Meeting that kind of challenge, for you to defeat that challenge, you as a teacher, you should be a life skill hacker. To the fact that you should necessarily know everything, but at least you know how to think of some other alternative ways to cope up those small matters. Be creative, be productive, efficient, and even practical to accomplish a particular task. Are you like that? Or you get carried away easily with your emotions in times of overthinking? Please don't be. Be a life skills hacker, just like being into DIY, or what we call it, do it yourself. Trust me, you will become productive with the DIY. Got it? Okay. Okay, next picture. What do you observe? Right? Kids fighting each other because they have personal problem. And it is very common problem to the classes that when a problematic child come to school, he tend to have fight with the other children. And you as a teacher, in order to cope up that challenge, your role is to become a mentor and a counselor not a tolerant teacher. You should be a friend to your students, letting them know that they can go to you as a trusted friend to talk to when they have problem. Be a buddy when they are in needy. Let's have the next picture. What do you observe? Alright, one is speaking while the other lost her interest in her friend talk. That makes their mind a shallow one. Okay, so this problem occurs in young children that they lack of concentration and interest in the story or talk of others. In this challenge, your role as a teacher is to become a critical thinking cultivator that will practice the young ones to do the reflection over time, because in that way their minds will not become shallow but rather will be filled with knowledge and wisdom that will give light to their thinking as they analyze from their reflection. I actually do this most of the time, that I always reflect everything I experience, especially when I have doubt in my decision making and all the stories told by the people around me that influences my thinking state. So I always do a reflection, reflect, and reflect. Okay, proceeding to the next picture, what do you observe? Okay, a person with a small tree in his head. It's a problem nowadays that children with only limited knowledge, that it does not grow into more branches of knowledge, that they only focus on locality, not globally. As to overcome that challenge, your role as a teacher is to become a global educator that incorporates global perspectives into teaching practices. This is to this is to connect the other people outside the country, that you should not only teach local knowledge but also a wide range of information that is related to worldwide knowledge, just like K-pop traditions, norms in Korea, that we try to adopt their way of living, just like how they dress, okay, also their music, right? Okay, how about the next picture? What do you observe? Okay, different way of acquiring the information. It is a problem nowadays that children have different learning styles, especially that we cater children with special needs. In that challenge, your role as a teacher is to become a differentiated instruction initiator, wherein you will cater the individual needs of the students and making a teaching process that corresponds to their individual interest, needs, and strengths. In this matter, children will likely meet the goals by having a parallel process aligned to their individual choice. And in this problem, and with this role being a differentiated instruction initiator, you should familiarize the multiple intelligence proposed by Howard Gardner, such as kinesthetic, musical, and the seven more. Okay, so how about the next one? Let's have the next picture. Okay, it's a picture that talks short-term goal-oriented. Many of you may be wondering why this matter become a challenge. Actually, being a short-term goal-oriented is not bad at all. But the problem here is that there is a tendency that everything will pass away in a moment of time that will not stay for a long period of time. And in this challenge, it's your role as a teacher to be an advocate of lifelong learning so that you will have long relationship with your work in teaching, relationship with your students, and relationship with your goals in life. Practice the young children to volunteer and be self-motivated in the acquisition of knowledge in the long run of life every day. How about this picture? What can you say about it? Okay, it looks like a violent kid with aggressive behavior. It is a problem that we face today, that kids these days grow up aggressively, that they only want their ways to happen and not being considerate with the others, to the point that they don't care who scold them and they don't care the authorities anymore, especially in classes. So in meeting this challenge, it's your role as a teacher to become a controller that governs and imply authority inside the classroom, despite of integrating the principle of student-centered teaching or learning. So the student might be in the center of consideration, but the power remains to the teacher as the executive of the republic of the classes. Assert yourself with an authority as a teacher in a firm but kind-hearted educator. So in my part, those are the challenges that a teacher might encounter in this 21st century with the respective role of a teacher in meeting those each challenge. And there are still a lot of challenges in the following slides which to be discussed by Miss Flora Mae K. Buot. I hope you learned something from me that you can use reviewing before taking the board exam. That would be all. Thank you and goodbye. A joyous holiday, everyone. Much love, moi.
Next, we have the challenge of lack of motivation to learn. So, if the students lack of motivation to learn, maybe your teaching or your lesson will not make any sense or will not make any improvement, no matter how good you deliver it. So, the role of the teacher should be the prompter. The teacher encourages students to participate and make suggestions about how students may proceed in an activity. The teacher should be helping students when necessary. When learners are literally lost for words, the prompter can encourage by discreetly nudging students. So, you need to call them and provide them with good feedback or praise them so they will have motivation. Or sometimes teacher uses some rewards to make students stay motivated. Next, we have the challenge of empty-minded. So there are a lot of factors why students are empty-minded. Maybe lack of sleep, stress, or anxiety, nutritional deficiencies, or overstimulation, and attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or we call it ADHD for short. So the role of the teacher should be the resource provider. The teacher provides relevant resource material to his or her students and to their colleagues and peers. The students always come up to the teacher for any information or other queries. The teacher must always provide his or her students with correct information and instruct them on how and where to use the particular information. So you, as a teacher, dili na nimo pasagdan. So as a teacher, your role will be providing something that will caught their attention, fill their minds, and make them do something para mabalhin ilang attention. But sometimes, you need to ask kay basin na gipamati or gigutom ba. So next, we have the challenge of incredible judgment. So there are diverse needs of students. They have different learning styles. So you, as a teacher, naglibog ka og unsay maayo or best nimo nga buhaton sa maybe specific na students nga bisag unsa na lang na strategy imong gibuhat but wa jud gihapon. So the role of the teacher should be the assessor. As an assessor, the teacher must think critically, creatively, logically. So assessing students gives the teacher an idea on how students learn, their attitudes, what skills they have, and what skills they are working on, and also how they are progressing. So you need to have an assessment, right? Daghan pag kanang mga methods, so you need to try more and you'll know. Next, we have the challenge of task overloaded. So very common sa teachers. Paperworks, deadlines, here and there, and obviously, we encounter this one right now. Reklamo first, then breakdown nga makaingon na lang ta nga mo give up, pero after, nagbuhat gihapon. So, ana ra jud na siya. We work hard, but we reklamo harder. So, the role of the teacher should be the organizer. This involves planning and structuring lessons, setting clear learning objectives, managing classroom activities, providing guidance and feedback to students, and adapting teaching methods to meet the needs of diverse learners. So, all I can say no is, mahuman ra jud na kaysa magsigig overthink nga daghan. So, di siya mahuman kay very loaded man imong mind. Di na ka maka-answer og tatong or di na ka makabuhat og tatong og unsa man imong gibuhat. So, just relax and calm down. Take it easy and do it one step at a time. So, next challenge, we have the challenge of disengaged to learning. So, sometimes no, si teacher ang mo ask, si teacher pod ang motobag or mo participate, especially when a student is not engaged or interested. But you don't need to get mad that instantly. The role of the teacher should be the participant. The role of the participant highlights the importance of teacher-student relationships and collaboration. Teachers actively engage with students by listening to their concerns, interests, and aspirations. They create a classroom atmosphere where students feel comfortable learning their thoughts and ideas. So, no, you need to ask first. You need to talk first. Like, nganong waman ka na minaw? Unsa may rason nimo? Unsa man imong problema? So, ano ra siya? The need of communication and collaboration. Next, we have the challenge of slow learners. So, there are a lot, no, actually. But we should never discriminate them. Basin intelligent di ay sila, but needs time lang to process or take in everything, di ba? So, the role of the teacher should be the tutor. Teaching and tutoring are different educational approaches to helping students learn. Teaching often involves an educators sharing their knowledge and of specific topics in a curriculum with a group of students in a classroom setting, whereas tutoring focuses on giving flexible lessons to individuals or small groups. So, individualized teaching. But you just focus on someone nga slow for them to make progress sa ilang learning. Kinahanglan nimo sila tutukan sa pagtudlo para makakaton jud sila. So, next we have the challenge of ethical issues. The most commonly experienced ethical issues include discrimination, harassment, technological abuse, data privacy, health and safety, lastly, favoritism. So, the role of the teacher should be an ethicist. Teachers need to ensure that all learners have the same rights and obligations as members of society. They make sure that learners and their parents, cultures, and worldviews are respected equally, that no one is discriminated against based on them. So, you need to educate them, embrace differences, teach them the right and wrong, so you'll build a student that is well disciplined. So next, we have the challenge of repetitive patterns of learning. Sometimes I can say that routines of some teachers are boring, just repeat and repeat, which may cause to some children to be bored, unmotivated, and absent-minded. So the role of the teacher should be innovative. Innovative teaching is the process of proactively introducing new teaching strategies and methods into the classroom. The purpose of introducing these new teaching strategies and method is to improve academic outcomes and address real problems to promote equitable learning. So when we are innovative with our methods in the classroom, the students will be excited, engaged, and they will enjoy the activity while at the same time they learn, right? So next, we have the challenge of unexploded talents and skills. So sometimes talented students remain undiscovered, maybe because they are shy, but they are good in doing so. So the role of the teacher should be activator. They define activators as techniques to activate students' prior knowledge through the use of engaging strategies designed to focus learning. Or summarizes as the activities to promote the retention of knowledge through the use of engaging strategies designed to rehearse and practice skills for the purpose of moving knowledge into long-term memory. To know, discover, and activate their talents and skills, the teacher should employ the differentiated instruction, where it does not only focus on one activity. So we will know to make them be, we will know their talents and make them be confident and let them show what gifts they possess. So next, we have the challenge of never-ending problems. So of course, it is because of our curiosity of the things, the what ifs, and maybe the problems that arose in times that we don't notice. So the role of the teacher should be a researcher. So a great researcher can bring their expertise and passion into the classroom, providing students with up-to-date knowledge and real-world examples. Similarly, a great teacher can inspire and mentor students, fostering a love for learning and critical thinking. So everything no is answered by the result of our research that makes us more innovative and enhanced in our field. So the next following slides are the 10-item multiple choice test, and after that, our references. So thank you and have a great day ahead.